Alright, I'm making this video because I wish that I had this video before. When I was in college, I was looking for day in the life of a personal trainer that wasn't an Orange Theory coach or wasn't just a desk job at Planet Fitness or whatever. And now I have that job. So I want to tell you a little bit about what it's like, what I do on a day-to-day basis, so that if someone does have interest in doing something like this, then they have somewhere to look. So, my name's Alana. I am a strength and conditioning coach, and I work at a private facility, so it's more small group personal training, and we have a maximum of 8 people in a group. We offer adult training, and we offer sports performance training, which is where I lie in the business, if you will. So I mainly coach kids from age 4th grade to college. I do personal training, so depending on the day, my schedule looks different day to day, but I just want to explain a little bit about what my day looked like today and what my day looks like tomorrow, and show you the difference between, and just the advantages and disadvantages to doing this as a full-time job. So, and just as I don't know what you call it, but to take it with a grain of salt, because some people work full-time at this company, some people do not. So some people do training part-time and they have something else that they do on the side or whatever. But in my case, this is my full-time job. This is how I make my money. And I honestly don't really know how much I make. I should probably double check that. But even more backstory on me, I just got back from a 6-month hiatus at this job because I was living in Australia for 6 months because my fiance got a baseball contract to play in Australia, so we had to go, obviously. And we just got back from that. So I'm about 1 or 2 months back into my full-time position. And yeah. So, schedule. The schedule is tough. So, depending on the season, it changes. And then my schedule, depending on the day, changes. So, I would say if you like something that's super flexible, this might be your thing. And if you aren't super rigid, you don't need to get to work at 9, leave at 5 every day. You're a little bit more flexible. You like breaks in the day. This would be something that you might like. For example, today I had a personal training at 8 a.m. I had a personal training so the 8 a.m. is someone who's going into the Navy. So I'm personal training her to try to get her ready for that. Then I had someone at 9 who is a personal training client, not really doing sports anymore, but she's pretty young, college age. So I'm personal training her. And then I had a meeting for the summer programming that we start next week that I ran because I'm the head of the sports performance programming, so I write the programming in combination with our boss. And we went over that for an hour. Then we had our yearly summer, pre-summer outing with everyone on the staff, which we probably only have, I think we have 9 coaches and 5 interns, or 4 interns. So we all went out to golf at a golfing range and then had lunch. So that's pretty uncommon for a regular full-time job, to go get lunch in the middle of the day. But as trainers, the middle of the day, people aren't working out at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. They're working out at either 5, 6, 7, 8 a.m. or they're working out at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 p.m. So that's definitely something to consider if you're looking at this job. Some adults are way more flexible, right? So you have like your people who work full time, but they don't have Friday. So like maybe you personal train them on Friday, or like maybe you're training them on the weekend. So I try to stay away from the weekends as much as I possibly can, but sometimes it's not possible. And sometimes, honestly, sometimes you love your clients enough that you're like, yeah, I'll come in and train you on a Saturday morning. Like, that's fun for me. So there's definitely lots of different situations, and like some seasons are so much busier than others. In my case, a lot of my personal training is temporary, so I'll train someone like 10 times and then I'm getting them into a group that I also coach a group. So in that sense, it's ever changing, always different. Like today, to continue my schedule after the outing, I was supposed to have someone at 1:30. They canceled, so I had more time. I had a girl who is recovering from patellar dislocations, so we're working on quad strength and all that, at 2:30. Then at 4:15, I had my first group of the day. So that was middle school. I had 2 girls, just a small group today. They're both like incredible swimmers that are going to the Junior Olympics. Like, you guys are sick. Then I had a break. Usually I would have a 5:30 group. Didn't have that, so I took it off the schedule because nobody signed up. And then at 6:30 p.m. I had an adult group, which I usually don't have, but I'm coaching adults a little bit right now. I had an adult group, 4 people, 2, it's their second day, and then 2 have been coming for a while, so like 2 years. So going into tomorrow, I have 1 college group with 14 kids. And then we have a team workout at 11 a.m. And then that's all I'm like scheduled for. Now, I do some admin work as well for the company. So I do stuff like programming, weekly emails to the parents, updating them on what's going on at the program right now, or events that we have going on. We'll do like educational events that I'll send out, like, this is happening X, Y, and Z time. We have summer starting, so the schedule's changing, so I'm emailing them about the schedule changes and to book their athletes for the week. We have an app that they book in on and all that, so I'm doing more like management of the kids that we do already have, so that we have them booking, because that's realistically how we get paid. In terms of schedule, other than that, in terms of the summer, my schedule is flipping to 7:45 a.m., 8:45 a.m., 10 a.m. groups, 11:30 groups. And then technically I don't have anything else unless I'm doing personal training or I'm doing my admin work after that. So again, super nice summer schedule. Lovely. But then the fall comes and I start at 2 p.m. with my groups, maybe later, and I don't finish I'm not getting home before 8:30. So it's like 3 months out of the year, since I'm working as a sports performance coach, I'm not home for dinner time, and I have to train during the times that the kids don't have school, as you would expect. So that's not my favorite thing ever, but that's kind of just like the situation and the way that the cookie crumbles for the job that I have. What else? I do the bulletin boards for the workouts. So I'm writing the workout and then I'm putting it on the boards. What else do I do? I do a lot of like managerial, like checking over the bathrooms. Like, are we out of stuff? Like, can we reorder this? We do I do fun things like the staff monthly board, where we ask a question to each staff member and I like type out their answer, and we have their faces on there. It's like kind of like a get to know me board each month. So every month I do that. So that's kind of like what I do day to day. And then in terms of what coaching really is like it's relationship building, it's people, it's caring about them, and it's knowing the exercises. Obviously that's like pretty trivial in the job in real terms. Like, you have to have people skills, you have to be able to get up in front of a group and demo, explain. Communication is huge. Figuring out ways to get through to like different kids and different ages, and like how you coach a middle school group versus how you coach a high school group versus how you coach an adult group versus how you personal train is all very different. And I think that's one of the most challenging things, is like being able to switch, kind of like not who you are, but almost like turn on those different knobs of yourself in order to like relate to this kid, or like talk to an adult like an adult. We even have like 5th graders in, so it's like that's a very, very different ball game than always being with an adult or X, Y, and Z. But a lot of companies don't do that. So if you are finding somewhere that you're gonna do both, you definitely got to be able to put on different hats. And I think it's a really rewarding job. I think it can be really stressful as someone like who, like my type of personality is like, I don't want to disappoint. Of course, I don't want to ever put someone at an injury risk. So I think I have like a lot of thoughts connected to the job, and like the more I'm at work, the more I'm thinking about work, not at work. So I definitely have kind of a hard time separating that, because people don't like, these people are more than like, a lot of them will text my personal phone number, and like I'm talking to them about other stuff than just exercise. So I think it can kind of be tough to separate a job like this that's more like personable, and like you're really showing who you are. And I mean, like in a personal training session, who wants to come in and literally just be yapped at by their trainer, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this? Like, no, I'm having a conversation with these people. I think it can be really taxing, like socially and like battery energy wise. Like a lot of times I'm like, I am just giving a ton of like questions and thinking, and then you're watching the entire time, processing with your eyes. Is the form good? Like, what am I looking at? Like, what am I looking for? Your coaching eye needs to really develop. In a group setting, it's like concise. How can you deliver that quick? Am I doing the best? Like, am I correcting these kids enough? And it's also knowing like why you're doing what you're doing. It's knowing why you're picking the exercises. And I think there's just so much nuance in the fitness industry and like the training world, and there's just so many different takes. In terms of like my philosophy, it's like movement is such a gift and like a privilege. Like, if you're coming into the gym to work out, like, yes, these kids want to get committed, right? But it's, and like go places for sports. But I really like, that's not my drive. My drive is not getting people committed to college. It's teaching people how to move well. Teaching people how to move in a gym, even if they don't have me as a coach down the line. Like, I hope I can give them that skill. Like, it's truly a life skill to know how to lift weights and take care of your body in the gym and challenge yourself and do all of that in a safe way. That's like my goal, is to teach, especially these younger kids, like, you're not going to feel good every single day. Every single workout's not going to be a great workout. You'll be faster some days, slower some days, but the fact that they even come and show up and are here to work on them and taking some time to like learn this skill is such a win and such a great thing. So that's like more of my why and like what motivates me to keep doing this, because I think I have a lot of stress around like, oh, I made the wrong decision, or oh, like I'm not perfect. But I really do like have a hard time sometimes. Like I can be kept up late, like for doing something that someone didn't really feel that great doing. Like it's so important to me that people feel good and better than they feel better walking out the door than when they came in the door. And I'm not just here to make people tired. Like I want people to move with purpose and like increase their weight slowly. Like I just think a lot of that is skipped over, and even me, like I can find myself skipping that over. So I feel like even this video is like me helping myself kind of talk through why I'm doing it, remind myself. Today I had like almost like an emotional moment, because on Tuesday it was this couple's first time working out in the gym, and they had been trying to come for 3 years. Like it was like I'd see them and I'd be like, oh, I'd love to have you in the gym, blah blah blah, and they're like, yeah. And one of the ladies, like the lady had a brain injury, and I was just really fearful that I was gonna do something that was gonna make her brain injury kind of flare up, or just like not feel good. I think the gym is such an intimidating place for so many people that trying to find ways to like show them that they're gonna be okay and like be able to bring it down to any person's level is important, especially because movement's for everyone, right? And they did their first class, she went through, there was like a little hiccup where she didn't feel that good, and I was like really beating myself up over that. Was like I made a terrible mistake, blah 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 blah. I emailed her the next day to check in, and she's like, I feel great, like thanks so much, blah blah blah. She came again the next day, like today, and at the end of the session we chatted, and she was telling me how grateful she is because she hasn't been able to move her body like this at all in so long, and it feels really good, and that she's grateful that she's kind of able to move and feel pretty good during it. And like I was just so worried that I had done something, or like it was going to be too hard, and they're never going to want to come back again, and that I just wasn't prepared enough, or so on and so forth, and blah 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 blah. But she just like I showed that I cared, I prepared, and it went well, and she enjoyed the session, and she's fine. And I just think that it can be a lot mentally as a coach if you do have the deep care that I think you need to have as a coach. So yeah, that's a little bit about what it's like for me. But let me know if anyone else wants to hear more about or specifics on like what it looks like, and I would be happy to make another video. Thanks for watching.